Friday, everyone. Excited to be back for another Friday live stream. My name is Justin Moore, founder of Creator Wizard, where I teach you how to find and negotiate your dream sponsorships. If this is your first time here, thrilled to have you. My time is your time on these live streams. So I start. Oh, very loud. What is happening right now? Oh my God. Sorry, I've had my audio on. Yeah, my time is your time on these live streams. I typically start off with a little thing to get our palates wet. WHET, wetted. Is that the right tense? And then we do a Q&A. So if you have any questions about sponsorships or negotiations, brand deals, all that stuff, please let me know. Would love to answer them. So with that being said, let me know where you're tuning in from. I am live on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, you name it, I'm everywhere. Watch out, world. I'm coming. Let me tune in. Let me pull up my, we've got Muay Thai Jody. We've got Hannah May Hikes. Good to see you tuning in on Instagram. Sharon Jackie 856. Great to see y'all here. So what we're talking about today, I have this very, very common type of DM that I get very frequently. It basically is a version of the following. Creators. So this is the really fascinating thing. So creators DM me all the time, and they say a version of the following. They say, my videos or my podcasts or my newsletters or my posts, they're killing it right now. I'm getting 100,000 views or downloads, opens, impressions every month, whatever, right? Can you help find brands to sponsor me? Okay. Now, on the surface, this seems like a reasonable question, right? However, there is a very critical flaw with the framing of this mindset. And that is that it's not about you. Sorry. Okay. So firstly, when you reach out to brands, your pitch or your proposal should focus on them, not you. So I know how stoked you might feel that your latest podcast episode got 5x the usual downloads, or your latest YouTube video, whatever. But to be honest, the brand doesn't care. They don't know who you are. Oops, they just deleted your email, right? So your number one priority must be to articulate how you can help the brand achieve a set of very specific business outcomes which are rarely as simple as get more views. Okay. Because I understand oftentimes as creators, like we're very fixated on our own perspective, right? We are like in our analytics, we're looking at our videos, we're looking at our posts, we're looking at our podcast downloads, whatever it is, whatever platform you're on. That is what you're looking day in and day out because you're trying to make better content, right? And so looking at the analytics, looking at the views, looking at all that stuff, that's important, right? Because it helps you be more informed, it helps you make better videos, all that stuff, right? However, oftentimes brands do not care about any of those things, right? Because I know it might seem like you're getting a lot, like, you know, in your own bubble, in your own vacuum, you're doing really well, but the brand sees lots and lots of people who are doing well, right? They see lots of people with, you know, sizable podcasts or lots of people with TikToks that are getting millions of views. So what differentiates you from those people, right? In their mind, you're no different than those people. You're not special in any way. Again, I kind of call myself your tough love mentor when it comes to this kind of stuff because I'm giving it to you straight. I'm giving it to you how the brand or an ad agency actually thinks about this type of stuff, right? So I want to give you the brand's perspective, okay? You might think as a creator, hold up, Justin, okay? Won't brands be really excited about getting tons of eyes and ears on their products or services, right? My audience is a perfect fit for their brand. Well, the answer is not really. Again, they do not know you. Delete. They just deleted your email, right? Remember, even if you're trying to pitch them something kind of low risk where they only compensate you based on performance, like maybe a CPM model, they do not have heaping piles of cash lying around to pay random creators that reach out. Okay? And there's another huge problem too, which is that it's bad for you too. So not only is this kind of any sponsor will do approach a big turnoff for the brand, if you do somehow land a deal, you are now trapped with a suboptimal rate precedent. What happens when your content starts doing even better than it is now, right? One of the biggest opportunities that I found for creators that I coach is that helping them detach their rates from their views or their downloads or their impressions is often the biggest barrier to landing lucrative sponsorships, especially for smaller creators, right? There's this mindset where you have that, you know what? The only value that I can bring to a brand is the number of views or the number of impressions or downloads or whatever that I'm getting, because a brand is not going to care about me otherwise, because they see all these other people out there who have all, huge numbers and all that stuff too. But I'm here to say that there's lots of value that you can bring to brands that has nothing to do with that, right? And so the secret to unlocking brands budgets, it's a critical mindset shift for you, which is that you have to realize that while brands don't have piles of cash lying around to sponsor your viral content, they do have piles of cash that they've already allocated for their own internal initiatives. Okay. So your job is to do research and identify those initiatives by analyzing the content or the campaigns that they're posting online, or reading their press releases and interpreting their marketing strategy, or sleuthing through their job boards to see what they need help with, or asking them directly, right? Then, once you have the brand's objectives in hand, you can turn around and submit a comprehensive proposal illustrating how sponsoring you and your content will help them achieve the results they're after. Because you want to know what's going to happen next when you do that, when you submit that proposal, your contact is then going to forward that along to their colleagues or their boss or their client. If it's an agency, they're going to have a powwow, and then they're going to collectively decide, hey, let's just slide $20,000 of our marketing budget over to Justin because it seems like he's just going to get us closer to our goals. Does that make sense? It's a very fundamental shift in your mindset because, again, I get this DM, I get this email all the time, which is, oh, I'm doing so well. Like, I know my next video is going to be a banger. It's going to get 500,000 views or 100,000 views or a million views or whatever. It's this brilliant creative concept. The brand doesn't care. They don't know you. Delete, right? So once you shift your mindset to like, okay, how can I help this brand win? How can I help them accomplish something that they're clearly trying to do? Because guess what? The brand has, oftentimes, if it's a medium to larger size brand, they have millions of dollars allocated to their own initiatives. That's what they're trying to accomplish. Yes, partnering with creators, partnering with influencers, that could be a tactic. This is the big difference. A lot of people don't understand the difference between strategy and tactics. Partnering with creators, partnering with influencers is a tactic. It's a way to help them accomplish their strategic initiatives, their larger strategy. We're trying to tap into podcasters, or we're trying to tap into homesteaders, or we're trying to tap into this, type of, mom who has kids between the ages of 8 and 12 or whatever. That's the strategy. They're trying to tap into a new type of market. And so partnering with creators who have an audience that is in that demographic, that is a tactic. Another tactic that they could choose would be to run Facebook and Instagram ads, to run print ads in a magazine, to run billboard, out of home ads in on bus benches and billboards, right? These are all tactics, right? And so one of your tasks as a creator is to educate yourself around how the brand is thinking about these things, because partnering with you is just one thing that they could do. So it's your job to actually articulate why working with you will actually be the most effective tactic, or a tactic that they should be including in their marketing mix. It's not something that they've been accustomed to doing before, but it actually is you educating them around the impact that it can have that makes them decide to do that. So I really wanted to talk about this subject today. I've been itching to write a post like this. It's live on my blog now if you want to read it in a little bit more detail. Again, like you may have noticed this about me. Maybe you haven't, but like oftentimes what I am guided, the content strategy I'm guided towards is having articles and videos and people when they ask me the same questions over and over and over, right? Because I do this a lot. I answer, you would know if you've ever DM'd me, I'm very accessible. I try to like get back to everyone that DMs me if possible. And so like, I just start seeing these themes, people asking me the same things over and over. And I oftentimes want to have a video here, watch this, or here, read this article. I think it's going to really help. And so this is one of those articles. I get this all the time. And so glad, hopefully this is helpful. This is helpful. Give me, I'm going to do a cha-ching in the chat. Was this helpful? Let me know. Give me some clapping, some mind blown emojis, something to like give me some validation. Maybe we've got Lavonda Rocks, Chief Top Her Chris, the Daily Roam tuning in. Sabrina B Fitness said recently joined your email list. Wow, so inspiring. Really, you actually share actionable steps. So happy to hear that it's impactful, Sabrina. So glad to hear that. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Let's see. We've got Coco tuning in. What's up, Coco? Tuning in from Berlin. What's up, Coco? We've got Aaron's House of Legos watching from Kentucky. What's up, Aaron? Carolyn Lopez from Seattle. What's up? Fourth born child all the way from the Philippines. Parker's on the go. So happy we were able to catch a live. Likewise, great to see you, Parkers. Chelsea Robson, all the way from Arizona. Tony Locke, what's going on, Tony? Major Illusion says, I've been binging your content as I now begin my search for partnerships. Finally got to monetization with YouTube, but I know the importance of more revenue streams. Thanks for the useful tips. Absolutely. Great to see you here, Major Illusion. Really appreciate that. We've got the KMH family in the chat as well. What is up, Hannity? Good to see you. So what are your questions? This is now y'all's time to shine. I want to know how I can help with your sponsorships, negotiations, brand deals. What's going on in your world? Doesn't matter what platform you're on. Early on when I started doing coaching for creators around sponsorship strategy, I very much was focused on kind of social media creators, right? YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, those types of platforms where you have built up a following on someone else's land, essentially, right? But more recently, I've expanded my business in that I've started helping lots of creators who, what I call, are on owned platforms where they are, a little bit more in control of the connection that they have with their followers. So this is podcasters, bloggers, newsletter operators, people who have courses, communities, this type of thing, because sponsorships is a big thing in that realm as well. And so the thing that I get really excited about my Brand Deal Wizard course, which, by the way, enrollment is opening February 23rd for the next cohort number 8. Can you believe it? Let's get an applause. I'm so excited for that. That I get to introduce these different types of creators to each other within the course. And one of the biggest takeaways that I have heard in a lot of the feedback and the surveys I've gotten and so on is how valuable it is to be able to listen and learn from other types of creators who have built their businesses in other ways. So you may think like, oh, what does a TikToker have in common with a newsletter operator or whatever? But like, there's been lots of takeaways where like that TikToker walks away and they're like, wow, I need to really start my newsletter, because imagine if I'd be able to offer newsletter placements in addition to placing, to a video on TikTok or something, being able to have these other levers while I am negotiating and these different packages and how to structure that and all that stuff too. By the same token, that newsletter operator is like, wow, man, if I had an Instagram or a TikTok or a YouTube channel or something, being able to offer video content to my newsletter sponsors, that could be a really big value proposition when I'm having conversations with this SaaS tool or this whatever, right? And so I just love this. It's secret, like my Trojan horse strategy, like having the course is like having all these different types of people together, because I do feel like it's really, really valuable. So I'm really excited about that kind of new development in the business. This is something recent that I just started over the last several months. Let's see. We got a question here from Parker's on the Go. We've been on your email list for a while, and I think we're ready to take the leap. We are micro creators, YouTube. What would be your key advice for travel bloggers starting to reach out? So, it's kind of a little bit about what I talked about on the top of the stream, just about this really, really important mindset shift around how it's not about you. Oftentimes when creators, they make a very fundamental mistake when they first start pitching brands, which is they reach out and they say, hi, we're Parker's on the Go. We have this many, we're micro creators. We have 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. We get this many views for video. Here's our demographics. Here's how many monthly views we're getting. And they just like punch them in the face with all this data. And to be honest, like I said, the brand doesn't care. They don't know you. They don't care. Right. And so, like the point of your pitch when you're starting out should have nothing to do with you, because again, they don't care. They don't know you. It has nothing to do with them. Right? It's like kind of this like what's in it for me type approach, and it feels somewhat transactional when you boil it down to that. But like these brands, especially if you're like sending a message to like their press email or something, they get so many emails, right? And so if you're reaching out and it's just like you talking about yourself for 5 paragraphs, they don't. Again, like put yourself in their shoes. Like if you were that like press person, you were that PR account executive or at the agency or whatever, if you got that email, you'd be like, what is this? Delete or ignore, right? That's probably what's going to happen, right? And so contrast that with if you research what types of campaigns they're running, research what types of campaigns they ran in the past, maybe last year around the same time that you're trying to pitch them for. You sleuth their job boards to try to see, oh man, like, oh, they're recruiting for a content marketing manager, social media manager, there's certain, a digital marketing manager, influencer partnership marketing manager, whatever. Oh, interesting. They're trying to like really double down on this strategy. They're trying to like access creators. They're trying to, generate more content for their social media or their website or their e-commerce platform, whatever. Right? They're trying to do all these things. Oh, awesome. Interesting. I'm going to go reach out and say, hey, I saw that you're trying to do this thing. I can actually help you accomplish this thing in the following ways. Yeah, partnering with me on my YouTube channel might be part of it. But hey, you know what? You're a travel brand. You're selling at REI. We actually we're travel creators. We live in we do van life or whatever. We can actually create really compelling content as we travel around the country. And you know what? You will get the exclusive right to that content. We won't even post it on our platform. We'll just, all these amazing areas, waterfalls and, national parks. And, we're going to be using your pack or we're going to be using your, what I'm just giving you an example because you guys are travel creators, right? But like that, and then you say, hey, that's going to be $4,000 a month for this number of deliverables. And the calculus in their mind becomes, oh, we don't actually have to go out and hire a full-time person to do this. We can actually just hire Parkers on the Go, and we'll just give them a content brief every couple weeks, every month or whatever. Here's what we're trying to showcase now and the content we're trying to get. And you now have income consistency, income predictability. The brand now has real, authentic, raw perspectives from their ideal customer, probably, right? Someone who's kind of has their finger on the pulse of what's going on and amongst that customer segment that they're trying to reach. What an awesome win-win. Do you see Partners on the Go, how that's such a fundamentally different pitch than you might have wanted to do initially? Oh yeah, let's talk about you on our YouTube channel. Because again, that's a very self-centered way of approaching sponsorships, but that's how 99% of creators approach it when they're starting out. And I get it. It's not like when you hear this, it kind of makes sense, right? But that's not your first intuition. That's not what you're first thinking of. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go like help the brand accomplish their business objectives. But that's why I'm here. That's why I started this channel, and that's why I'm trying to educate creators around getting more sophisticated with what they're pitching to brands because it makes all the difference. Does that help, Parkers on the Go? I don't know, you can maybe tell me your like actual names rather than me just saying your channel name over and over. But that's kind of how I'd start to think about this. And of course, my Instagram live went dark. So let's see. Let me pull it back up to see who is in the chat. We've got Frank's Chaos, Eviani. We've got Sandeep Adhikari. We've got the Brim Factor. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, we got some other questions in here. Let me scroll up because I think okay, Tony Locke said, I'm actually going to be applying for some of the sponsorships you sent yesterday. Any tips with those brand sponsorships? Tony, you'll probably have to tell me like specifically which ones you're going to apply to, and I'll probably be able to give more specific advice. So yeah, let me know. All right, Major Illusion has a question. When trying to approach a business with what value you bring to the table for them and how you meet their marketing goals, what methods would you suggest in finding their upcoming campaigns? Yeah. So as I mentioned, if you are trying to do research on a brand of what types of campaigns that they have run in the past so that you can pitch them as a creator and get them excited about working with you, oftentimes it's as simple as using Instagram for research, right? Because you can literally scroll back on their Instagram to last year, okay? Let's say we're pitching them for Q2 campaigns or something. Scroll back and see what they were posting in Q2 last year because they're probably going to be running those campaigns again, right? They're not reinventing the marketing wheel. They're taking out the same old playbook that they did last year and they're tweaking it a little bit and they're running it again. So by you surfacing that and leading with that in your pitch, what are you communicating? You're communicating that, wow, this is not just another creator who's just regurgitating the same old, pitch template to us. This is someone who looked into what we're trying to accomplish as a business. They know that they scrolled back on our Instagram to see that they were running back, hashtag, campaign last year, whatever. That's cool. Let's have a conversation with this person. Sometimes it's as simple as doing 5 minutes of research and scrolling back on their freaking Instagram to see what campaigns they were running. This stuff is simple, y'all. Okay? So it's also as simple as acting interested in the outcome of the partnership. Like think about the brand's perspective here. Okay, I'm going to pay this creator $1,000, whatever, to talk about us, $2,000, whatever. What are we going to get in return from that? It's either sales, conversions, downloads on our app, trial signups for our software. That's conversion, right? Repurposing is we're going to get content. We can use it to run ads. We can use it to post on our social media. We can use it to like put on our e-commerce pages on Amazon or Walmart or whatever. That's repurposing. Oh, or we just want to like drive more awareness around the fact that we're launching in the States or we're launching in Europe or we're launching in Asia or we're launching wherever. That's the goal of this campaign. That's what we care about, right? That is the ROI. That's the calculus that they're going over in their head. And so if you can reverse engineer that and say, oh, I understand that that's what you're trying to accomplish because you told me, here is a customized proposal that will help you accomplish that. That will help you get the ROI that you're looking for because ROI is not always about dollars and cents, like I just mentioned. Oftentimes, it has something that has a lot to do with non-quantitative deliverables. Ashley says, agreed. IG and Facebook are such great research tools for campaigns. I know this feels a little overwhelming if you're just starting out, but this is one of the entire reasons why I created Brand Deal Wizard, which is a 4-week course dedicated to the nuts to bolts of creating a sustainable sponsorship strategy. Week 1 is all about pitching, how to understand how to craft a proposal, whether it was an inbound inquiry to you or you're reaching out to the brand cold and trying to figure out exactly what do I say to get them excited. Week 2 is all about pricing. Okay. How do I construct how do I understand my worth? How do I understand my packages, my pricing, negotiation psychology, understanding like, the person on the other side of the table here, the brand or the agency, how do I help them win as well? Right? How do I make this a mutually beneficial thing where, yeah, I'm getting paid, I'm getting cha-ching, I'm getting paid, but at the same time, it's a mutually beneficial thing where I'm helping them achieve business outcomes, right? And then week 3 is all about execution of these partnerships. How do you go through this process with confidence and objectivity so that when you emerge on the other side of it, that brand or that agent thinks, wow, we are 100% going to hire Justin again because this was the most seamless partnership we've ever done. We just want to keep working with them, right? How do you do that? And it comes down to creating processes, to creating systems for yourself, doing things that the brand's not even asking you for, right? Preventatively. And then the last week is all about nurturing. How do you, once you actually finish these deals, how do you make it so that you can not only create case studies for yourself, right? You can create post-campaign reports that you can deliver to past brand partners to actually prove to them that the results of this campaign were amazing and that they should hire you again, right? And so this is really and again, like it's very dynamic. It is a live course that I teach live over Zoom. There's office hours, there's the live session, there's guest speakers. It really is an amazing experience. And so as I mentioned, the next cohort is enrollment starts on February 23rd. First class is March 7th, I believe. It's a blast. Like honestly, I'm always so thrilled to teach the course because it's like one of the most fun things I do in Creator Wizard in the business. Ashley Aaron said, the Brand Deal Wizard course will make you an expert in working with brands and negotiations. Ashley, as you can tell, is an alumni of the program. So thank you, Ashley. Can I get a hell yeah in the chat? Can I get a cha-ching? How about an applause? I'm going to give you that one. I need like more like really fun like sound effects. I don't have like a ton, but Tony said you did just give me some ideas for ways I could reach out to brands. Love to hear it, Tony. Keep me posted on that. We've got Frank's Chaos says price is my issue. Yeah, you know what? Price is, and I want to dig into this issue real quick, Frank's, because one of the biggest myths that creators have around that they believe why they're having a hard time getting paid their worth with sponsorships is they think it's all about price. They think, oh, I just need to figure out how to charge more, right? Or get longer term deals like to get, income consistency. They think that's the biggest issue. When in reality, price is only one lever that you have in a negotiation with a brand. There's so many other factors at play that, like, exclusivity, usage, understanding organic and paid usage, whitelisting, understanding how that brand is going to be utilizing that content beyond you actually posting it on your platforms or creating the content, right? If they can use it in other ways, repurpose it for paid advertising, right? Payment terms, these things are negotiable, right? Concepts, right? The feedback rounds, right? The scope of exactly what you're going to be doing, the number of deliverables, that's all negotiable. Just because they say, oh yeah, this is what the campaign's going to look like. These are all the talking points this is the call to action. Everything is negotiable. It's a big myth, right? Ashley says, "LOL, guilty." Yeah, I know it's okay. I mean, it's okay. But yeah, Frank's. That really, I want to just mention that because a lot of people think that the only lever that I have is price when it comes to negotiation, and that's just simply not the case. KMH family, yes, said yes. The Brand Deal Wizard is an amazing course that will teach you everything you need and then still walk with you by your side when the course is complete. Boom. Thank you, Hanny. That really means a lot to me. So thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Parker Zongo said, thank you for answering our question. We were told to do exactly what you just said not to do. We are Charvon and Brandon. Great to meet you both. And you know what's so funny about that? Because I've really gotten that feedback a lot, actually, which is that there's all sorts of coaches and things like that on social media helping people get sponsorships and doing that kind of thing. And you know what? More power to them. That's really fine. But from my experience, those creators are coming at it from just only one side, basically, which is like, I am a creator. I got a bunch of deals. Let me teach you how I did that. Right. That's the perspective that they bring to coaching, and that's okay. But in my mind, that is literally only 50% of it. The perspective that I bring is that I ran an influencer agency for 7 years, and I have paid out millions and millions of dollars to creators. I've been on the other end of emails from tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands of emails from creators. I've seen all the mistakes they're making. I've been in the room with these brands where they're trying to decide how to spend millions of dollars on an influencer campaign across like hundreds of creators, right? I've been in the room trying to help them decide what is the platform strategy, what platforms they should be on, what types of creators should we partner with, why they are passing on certain creators and not others, and they're selecting others, right? And so that is the other side of this conversation. And what you'll find with a lot of my content and my courses and coaching, all that stuff, is that I really reverse engineer a lot of this stuff. I say, okay, look, this is what the brand is trying to accomplish with working with creators, right? And if you're not going to help them do that, then they're not going to work with you, right? And so if you have this kind of narcissistic view of working with brands and how can I extract the most amount of money possible, you'll be surprised. Some of the things that I say in my courses and all that stuff is like, you should not be trying to take every single dime off the negotiating table, because what do you think that's going to do? That's going to leave a very sour taste in the mind of that brand or that agency. They're going to feel as though they just got fleeced. Do you think that is a relationship they want to nurture? Do you think do you think you're a creator that they want to continue working with over and over if they feel as though they just got taken advantage of? Heck no, right? And so if every deal that you do is transactional and it becomes a one-off thing, then of course it's going to feel as though, oh God, it's so hard to get sponsorships. Like every single deal I do is one-off, and it's like you can't rely on sponsorship income because you never know when it's going to come. Well, clearly, if every deal you do is like from a new person that you have to prove yourself to every single month, every single week, this approach is like if you fired yourself from your 9-to-5 job every single month. Oh yeah, I just did great work. I proved myself to my colleagues, to my boss. They love me. Peace, y'all. I'm going to go find another job. That's literally what you're doing by not savoring and nurturing these relationships. Does this make sense? Is it like, right? You're not the first person believe me. You're not the first person that's told me that, Charvon and Brandon, right? A lot of people come to me and they're like, okay, I just got a bunch of terrible advice. Now I'm going to follow you, right? It's all good. It's all good. We like, honestly, frankly, like here's the thing. What you'll find about me is that I believe that I'm one of one. I don't think there's anyone out there really talking about the things that I am in the way that I'm talking about it. So I don't feel like I have any competition. And there's lots and lots of creators who need help. So like I have my own tribe. Like I realize I'm not for everyone. If you're looking for someone to be like, it's okay, that's an okay pitch, just try better next time, that's not me. I'm going to be like, this pitch sucked. Like, let me tell you why, right? Because at the end of the day, we all want to get better, right? We all want to make more money. We all want to grow our careers. We all want to grow our platforms, right? So, we don't want to spin our wheels. So if you want someone who's going to like kind of pat your head a little bit, that's not me. I will pat your shoulder a little bit, but I'll also kind of slap you on the back and kind of give you a nudge and be like, don't do that. Like, I'm here. Go over here. Go this direction. This is better. Do this over here. Right. So that if that's not for you, maybe not follow me anymore, or unsubscribe from my email list or something. But honestly, I'm really trying to be constructive about it. And I think that is a more helpful type of coaching in my mind, but different strokes, right? Holy cow, Hannity, what coming through with the 9.99 super chat. I just want to say thank you for everything, Justin. You are amazing, amazing individual slash coach with a genuine heart and passion to help others. This is the Friday Doordash wine for you in April. Much love to both of you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. You are an OG. You've been rolling with us for years and years and years, Hanny, and that always means so much to us. And just the fact that you show up on these lives, and just the growth that you and your family have experienced over the last couple of years that we've been working together is just truly amazing. And I'm so proud of y'all. And I bet you would probably admit it's been life changing for you, right? Going down this road and kind of working with brands and all this stuff. So I'm really, really proud of you. So thank you. Really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And then those of you who are new here, the super chats, what they go towards every Friday is date night in for me and my wife. So either we go out to lunch or we order DoorDash or something for movie night for us and the kids. And we just kind of spend time together as a family, as a couple. So yeah, that always means a lot to me. Mrs. Juno says, I have found your Friday lives and your weekly emails so helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the last thank you was like all capitalized. Mrs. Juno, I'm so happy to hear that. So thank you. That really means a lot. All right, I did see some other questions here. There's one like way further up here. Holy cow, Oliver, road to finish. What's up, bro? I haven't seen you in so long. Is saying the studio is looking nice. Thank you, man. I've really been trying to dial it in, so I appreciate you noticing that. Ashley, we got a question here from Ashley, one that I missed. Hey, Justin, thoughts on providing a contract to the brand first? I'm noticing I'm getting held up in the legal portion of the sponsorship over the smallest revisions from our legal to theirs. Okay, so it can be tough. This has been my experience, is that the larger the brand gets, the more difficult it becomes to provide your own contract template to them, because they will have their own boilerplate contract template or version of the contract that's been kind of blessed by their legal team. And it becomes a lot easier to just basically redline and revise their version of the contract. That oftentimes is a little bit more work, obviously, because you have to go through it with a fine tooth comb. You have to make sure that all the terms and the SOW and all that stuff is hunky dory relative to what you agree to verbally or over email. So it's a little bit of a heavier lift on your end, obviously, but I have found that it streamlines the contract process because of that, right? However, obviously, the more ideal scenario is that you're the one who provides your contract first, because that's the one that's been blessed by your legal team. And then if they give red lines to you, it's easier because you are already the bulk of the contract was originated by you and your team. And so what I have found, it's been difficult to find kind of where the happy medium is. I have found that if you could probably tell contextually when you're negotiating with brand, does it seem like how savvy are they? For example, a good filter is that if the brand has an agency, they're almost always going to have boilerplate contract templates that is a process that they've already ironed out. You are a vendor, dear creator. You are beholden to our internal, contract template. Here, sign it, type of thing, right? If the brand does not have an agency and you're interacting directly with the influencer marketing manager or the partnerships manager, or the director of marketing, or whatever, then you may have a lane to go in there. And especially if they say, oh, we've really never worked with creators or we haven't done this much, then yeah, that's your opening to be like, oh, okay, great. Here's a contract we can use, right? Sometimes they'll be like, awesome, thanks, right? Because they didn't have one ready to go. So I think it really comes down to the scale of the brand that you're partnering with and just kind of trying to, decide how much time you actually want to invest in the back and forth of the contract with this particular deal. Does that help, Ashley? Because that's kind of how I think about this. Barker's on the go said, definitely love a straight shooter. Thank you so much. Of course, that's what you'll get from me for sure. I did see a question from Coco, almost near the top, that I don't want to miss. Okay, Coco says, I'm trying to build my visibility in Germany and the EU since this is where I live now. However, Most of my viewership is in the US. How can I appeal to businesses in a new location? I reached out to a local brand that I genuinely love recently, and they asked about my audience size in Germany so that they can calculate CPA, but it's pretty small. Um, so, Coco, first and foremost, like my question is, I would imagine that you're starting to create a bunch of content that's locally relevant. Because I mean, there's two ways that you could go with this approach. Like number one is okay, I'm going to try and like my strategy now for the next 3 months or whatever is I'm just going to make a bunch of local specific content. I'm going to like talk about the local. I know I think you do like sustainability is that type of content or vegan living. I can't quite remember, but I think it's around that niche. Um, so like maybe your content strategy becomes I'm going to review products, businesses, restaurants, like that type of stuff in Germany, in the EU, all around that content. And so really make a concerted effort to grow your local European audience based on that. Because if partnering with brands to talk about them on your social platforms is you want that to be the primary way in which you're doing sponsorships and the way in which you're helping brands and all that stuff, then there may be a time period where you need to like really focus on the content itself and trying to increase that percentage of your European audience. Like especially on certain platforms, like TikTok is very smart, especially TikTok, and to some degree like YouTube and Instagram and so on. But like TikTok, especially, I don't know if you're on TikTok, but like they're pretty good. If you like, start like developing an audience of like German viewers or EU viewers, then and they start engaging with it and they start finding it valuable and sharing it and all that stuff too, they're going to expose that to other types of viewers in that locale, right? And so if I were you, like that would be, I would probably focus all of my time, because it is a shift that you're going to have to make, given that originally your audience was in the US. So I would say that like maybe your strategy right now is like not sponsorships. I'm going to like focus for the next 3 months on trying to just increase. I'm going to be very like scientific about it. I'm going to analyze. I'm going to look at every content. I'm going to see, oh, did my percentage of viewers in this area go up with this piece of content, but not this one? Okay, I'm going to go with that former one and do more of that type of content, right? So just be like very analytical about it. And I bet you, iteratively, if you continue to kind of A/B test your content strategy, that would start to improve. And so then once you have made those improvements, then you can go full court press on pitching sponsors. So that's one approach. The second one would be like the pitch that you're making is not to be talking about the brands or the companies on your profiles. The pitch is I'm going to be using my platform as my credibility. I know how to make great content. And my pitch to you is I'm going to create content for you that you use on your socials or you use on your website or you use for paid advertising. I'm here, I'm local, I'm based in Germany, so I can actually come to your location. I can create content for you in your, wherever your business is located, whatever. And then I'm your essentially, your hired contractor, freelance kind of videographer, creator, to help you move the needle on your own social platform. So like, again, in that scenario, like it doesn't matter the fact that you have a majority US audience, right? So like, I believe those are kind of the two pathways and you have to kind of decide which one you want to go down. They're not mutually exclusive necessarily, but I do think you should pick one, honestly, because it's going to be, I honestly think that like the former strategy probably is the best one to especially if you view yourself as living there long term, then that probably to me feels like a better strategy because then down the line you can pitch both strategies, right? If you increase your audience to be more German focused and European focused, then you'll not only be eligible to start doing sponsorships on your own platforms, but also be able to do UGC content, helping brands in other ways that are local and all that stuff too. So I think that maybe that might be wise. So just my 2 cents, but that's kind of how I think about it. So yeah, Coco says, yeah, I like TikTok. Yeah, I thought about that second strategy too. I can do both strategies. There we go. Exactly. So I appreciate it. I hope that's helpful, Coco, because that's kind of how I would look at it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your advice, Justin. You're awesome. Of course, Coco. And appreciate you investing in the brand in the gifted to paid course. I know that was a couple weeks back or something, but I saw you did that as well. And so I see, I remember these things, y'all. You think I don't? Like, I know I have a lot of people on my newsletter and all that stuff too, but I see the emails. I see when like people join the course or invest in the course and all that stuff too. And it always really does mean a lot to me. So thank you, Coco. Parker's on the go said, "Whoa, what the heck is happening here? A $5 super chat from the Parkers, a small contribution to date night from the Parkers. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. Holy cow. Really, truly, that any little bit, really, really goes a long way. So that really means a lot. Thank you. We've got, hey, I'm Danitzo tuning in from TikTok. What is going on? Good to see you here. And a KMH family said, congrats, Justin, on your new podcast. Baby girl and I have a podcast we're planning to launch too, talking about everyday topics around self-love, growth, and entrepreneurship. Boom! Love to hear it. Let's get an applause in the chat for that one. That's awesome. Super excited for that, Hannity. Awesome. Okay. So those of you who don't know about the new podcast I'm launching, y'all, it's countdown 3 days. There's only 3 days until the launch of my new podcast. The podcast is called Creator Debates. The tagline is stupid arguments to help creators make smart decisions. So every episode will basically pit two high-profile creators against each other to debate a hotly contested topic in the creator economy. So the first 2 episodes that are dropping on Monday are video versus non-video podcasts and hustle culture versus life design. I've got some unbelievable guests that are going to be coming, and I think I've recorded 6 episodes already, or maybe 5 episodes, but I got several more scheduled. I'm just so stoked about this because a couple of let's talk about some inside baseball. You guys want to talk about some inside baseball here, some behind the scenes stuff? So one of the reasons why I decided to start the podcast, it's a couple different reasons. Number one, I really was looking for a new creative challenge. I've never had a podcast, obviously, but I wanted a new format to explore other topics that I'm really interested in. As you know, when I first started, Training Family. Oh my gosh, when I first started, Training Family was my agency. When I first started Creator Wizard, my moniker, my tagline on social media was the business of being a creator, right? And so I love talking about all these different things, right? Like affiliate marketing and physical product, like merch and like fan funding, courses, digital products, email lists, right? Sponsorships, yes, sponsorships, right? But like all these different things. That's what I thought the channel was going to be about, right? And obviously, I took a hard pivot when I really realized that I was getting lots of interest and lots of traction all around sponsorship strategy because a lot of people had never really heard anyone talk about, like the Parkers were saying, right? They'd never really heard anyone talk about sponsorships in the way that I do. And so I really took a hard pivot, my newsletter, all my content, all that stuff, like really focused all around sponsorships. But the really interesting thing that happened is that when people join the course and when people hire me for one-on-ones and when people get into the ongoing coaching that I have, that they started to actually ask me for guidance about other things that I was going to do initially, right? Affiliate marketing and, courses and the coaching and all this stuff, right? And I love talking about all that stuff too. And so I really wanted a creative medium to be able to explore that, right? And so that's one thing, right? I really am stoked about that. The other thing is because I'm very strategic about all this stuff, right? The other reason is that I now have a new content format to offer for my partnerships that I'm doing, right? The really interesting thing about podcasts is that if you've ever listened to a podcast, oftentimes there's multiple sponsors in one podcast episode. And one of the reasons that you can do that is because it tends to be much longer form, right? You'll have a 30 or 45-minute podcast episode, right? And you'll have multiple ad breaks, multiple sponsors, right? And so that is normal. That is normalized. Right? Whereas you look at a piece of, social media content, let's say a short video or even a YouTube video, you will almost never have multiple sponsors in a piece of social media content like that. Right. And so, I looked at this new podcast proposition, this new project as a way in which for me to continue to diversify my creator business. Right. And so again, like, and again, like I'm knocking out so many birds with like one stone here. The other reason is that I love learning. I love learning from inspirational people, whether it's creators or business owners or whatever it is, people who are making money on the internet. They are creators. And oh my God, hold on a second. We got Jay Klaus in the IG chat. What the heck is going on, bro? One of my besties, my BFF on the internet is Jay Klaus. If you don't know Jay Klaus, this guy, I'm telling you, this guy is so inspiring. You have to follow him. His website is creatorscience.com. He has a podcast called Creative Elements. Um, got 1 million downloads in less than 18 months. So follow him. He's amazing. What's up, Jay? Good to see you here, bro. But the other, third kind of the tertiary, reason that I'm launching the podcast is that, again, I love talking with really interesting people, and a podcast allows you a reason to reach out to these really interesting people. Oftentimes, people who may seem way out of reach. Maybe they have tons of followers on social media, or they're an author, or they're a creator doing really interesting and amazing things. Saying, "Hey, will you be on my podcast? I'd love to talk about you and your journey and your story. You like come on and hang out and do it. It'll be fun, right?" That is another excuse to learn. Like where I'm a student of life, I'm a student of the process, and so it, I kind of looked at it from these. Do I real I'm already really busy, but it's like, am I really going to launch a podcast? Like, what the heck? Right? But I looked at it from these three different perspectives, and I was like, you know what? Yes, that that those three reasons make it worthwhile to do it for me. And so again, it doesn't mean that I'm changing the cadence of things that I'm doing. I'm not going to do weekly YouTube videos. Well, let's be fair, I haven't done a YouTube video in a while because I'm busy. But I am going to get back into making Creator Wizard videos, of course. But it's and the other thing too that I want to mention is that picking a niche and going really deep down into the sponsorship strategy angle and sponsorship coaching, I was able to what they call develop this know, like, and trust factor, right? A lot of people really valued my perspective on this one topic. And so now that I've earned people's trust in this area, it stands to reason that I can take a step back now and talk about these other things. And they'll also find value in that too, right? So it's funny because I'm actually developing a keynote talk right now, or a pitch for an upcoming conference around this idea, what I'm calling the Trojan horse strategy. If you're having a really hard time picking a niche that doesn't feel limiting, I believe that this approach can be very profound. It can help lead you to a very fulfilling a business. Can I actually read you the title of my talk? Because I literally we just submitted the brief, I think this morning or yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Okay. The title of my keynote that I pitched is called The Trojan Horse Strategy: How to Pick a Profitable Niche That Doesn't Feel Limiting. And the little blurb I gave about what I'm going to talk about, it says, you've heard it a million times. Just pick a niche if you want to succeed as a creator. But what if you're multi-passionate and don't want to be pigeonholed? Stop waiting for inspiration to strike and use the simple Trojan horse strategy to inject clarity, cash, and contentment into your creator business. Can I get a hell yeah? What do you think? Does that sound dope? Would you be stoked about hearing a talk like that? I'm pretty stoked about that idea because it's something that I did and am doing. And I'm not sure that I was ever, it's with retrospect, that's what I did, but it's not what I didn't have that level of genius 2 years ago. Right? It's become that, but that was my, it's looking back on it now that I was wow, there's actually something here. I can teach this approach because I think it is repeatable, basically. So yeah. Oh, Chelsea in the chat. Thank you, Chelsea, saying great pitch. Boom. Appreciate it. I'm stoked. So I don't know. We'll see if they accept it or not, but I'm pretty stoked about it anyway. All right, I'm going to take a swig. Ashley said, congrats. Oh, KMH, congrats on your new podcast. Can't wait to check it out. Justin, I've been waiting 2 years for your podcast. I am so excited you're doing it. Holy cow. That's a long time to wait. I appreciate it. Ashley, it's also funny. I have one approach that I was going to think about doing for the podcast. Well, I was literally going to do the most boring thing you could think of, which would be repurposing the live streams, right? Because there's lots of people who have said, "Oh, I love watching your live streams," but can you just make it a podcast so I can just listen to it in the car when I'm driving to work or whatever? And I was just yeah, I can do that probably, but that's boring. That just turn on the YouTube video and listen to it. Sorry, I'm annoying about that, but I could do that. And in fact, I actually did. We did this whole thing. We found music, and we what we did actually for repurposing it is we All the times in which I'm like interacting with the chat and all that stuff, that doesn't really lend well to like a podcast listening like, experience. And so what we did is we kind of like chopped off all the things where I was saying like, "Hey Ashley, what's going on in the chat from you tuning in from blah blah blah." Right? Like we cut all those things out, those chunks, and just kind of kept all the meat. So it like made it more succinct, and it was just like it was okay. It was okay, but it wasn't the level. You know me, like when I do stuff, I want to do it like I want to make it kick ass and I want to make it awesome and I want to make it really valuable. And so like that to me just felt like I was phoning it in. And I couldn't like my pride. I just couldn't put out a podcast like that. I just didn't feel like that was like worthy of the Creator Wizard logo, right? So I don't know. Like I have 6 of those episodes like ready to go, just like, sitting on my computer. But this to me feels so much more like the reason that this to me feels like so much cooler is that have you ever heard this format before? Like anytime I pitch this podcast concept to people, they're just like, "Wow, that's super unique. I've never heard like of that idea." Like number one, like also it makes the complexity of actually doing it like way more complex because or I just said complexity. It makes the complexity higher, right? Because I have to coordinate with 2 different guests, right? Like schedules. The now I want it's a video podcast, so I want the quality of my guests to be super high quality as well. Um, so it's kind of a you're rolling the dice a little bit, like in terms of people's video quality and whether that's going to be look good and all that stuff. You know, sometimes I've had this actually when I recorded the podcast that guests have never met each other before. Like sometimes early on the early episodes they knew each other, so it was like fun and people are giving I have this buzzer, right? It's like when people like are like going down to the wire on the countdown, I'll hit the buzzer on it, right? So it's fun. But like as I start to interview people who I don't know super well or who don't know each other, it's just like a different dynamic. And so I'm even, exploring and trying to get better at being a host and a moderator and all that stuff too. And so it's just like, to me, it felt like a creative challenge. And that's really what I was looking for in a new project. And so, yeah, like it's just been super fun, like figuring out the format and like how it looks and creatively and all this stuff too. So I'm really excited for you guys to experience it and listen to it, and hopefully you'll get value from it and everything too. So, yeah, can you tell I'm stoked? I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked. Yeah, Coco says it's like a talk show. Yeah, basically, it's kind of like a talk show, but with creators and fun topics. And yeah, it's gonna be really fun. Ashley said that pitch is fire, and that's why you are the expert. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that so much. Okay. There was a question I missed. I know I missed a question. Okay, we got Kay in the chat. Oh wait, I missed. There must be a. Okay, here we go. Hey Justin, I have a question about a contract I got for UGC content lately. They inserted a renewal clause that says they have a discretion to renew. I don't understand what this means. It says that they have full discretion to renew the agreement with the same deliverables, usage and payment terms for an additional 12 months. I asked them to explain, and they pretty much reiterated. My question is a little higher a little higher in chat. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that if they wanted to hire you again for the same, like to make more videos for them or whatever, then they can do that at the same price. And that is, in my mind, it's starting to become more. I've seen it more often in UGC contracts, but that is that is a non-standard clause in a typical creator partnership, creator deliverable agreement. A lot of brands I've found are starting to include clauses like that because, creators, frankly, kind of change their rates on a whim, on a dime. They'll say, "Oh, this video was great. Let's do it again." And the creator will be like, "Okay, it's double now." Right? I get it. I get it. When they see something do well, they want to like make more money. I get it. But I think that some brands are starting to try to include some of these clauses to protect that. But you by no means have to agree to something like that. Like you can decide whether you even want to work with this brand again or not, right? So you can say, hey, you know what? Like unless you're able to strike that clause, I can't proceed with the partnership. Because frankly, like that's not super advantageous to you to like lock you in for 12 months or whatever, right? So I have seen it, not in love with the clause, but and kind of up to you whether or not you want to agree to something like that. We got a question from Hannity. With our new family channel, we have 3.5K subs and 11,000 views in 2 videos. When I'm doing our media kit, I'm including the total analytics for all our social platforms combined. Your thoughts? I think that's fine as long as you're explicit about the fact that this is across multiple channels. And that you have, different outlets. I actually think you position this as something that the brand should be stoked about. Like, oh, not only can you get a feature on your daughter's channel, but you can also get a feature on the family channel. That's a possibility. Here's kind of our total reach across all the platforms. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just be, explicit about that in the media kit. Yeah. Coco says, "Yeah, you're extra hyped today." Yeah, I very much am excited. I'm super excited. Holy cow, for the podcast. Kay says, "Thank you for grabbing my question. I denied them hiring me for a new video at the same price because I discounted this one pretty heavily." Yeah, I mean that's the other challenge, right? Is that when you agree to a partnership at like a discounted or a lower rate than you typically do, if the brand is trying to lock you into that rate in the contract for a long time period, then yeah, you are now establishing this like really challenging price precedent. If they ever try to like work with you again, just be like, oh, by the way, look at this contract. Do videos at this rate for the next 12 months or whatever. Like, of course, that's protecting the brand or the agency, right? And if you're able to avoid that at all costs, like you absolutely should, because how do you like? Here's the thing, like especially if you're a UGC creator now, and like who's to say that your own platform or your own content, if you're posting content on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, who's to say that that doesn't blow up and now you're able to command a significantly higher rate for native content that you post in partnership with brands, not just UGC anymore, and yet you've locked yourself into this like let's say 12-month partnership with a brand or 12-month agreement, and now you're beholden to that $100 or $200 or whatever it is for this long time period when you're able to command thousands or something on your personal platform. So yeah, I'm just you have to protect yourself over the long run, and yeah, watch out for those clauses that may not be super advantageous for you. Yeah. We've got Wife Without Kids tuning in, Nikita P, Blended Beauty, what's going on? Noah, Ex Boa, Mythco Outdoor, RJ Mac, good to see y'all here. I'm so hyped, Coco, actually, that my voice is running out. How did that happen already? I'm so excited about it. I've always wondered how Twitch streamers stream for like 8 hours straight. I must admit, I am like very high energy on these live streams, but probably also because it's like an hour, right? It's like an hour long, and I'm able to give like all my energy to the live stream. But like sometimes I will log into Twitch and see like people seems like they tend to be much lower energy if they're doing those like really long streams. And there's like lots of silences and pauses. They'll be like playing a game and it'll be like a pause for like 15 seconds or whatever. I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, so to me, I don't know why. It's just like the way in which I talk, the way in which I teach. I feels like I kind of fill every silence, with meat, right? I'm giving you the goods. It's just like value packed every minute, right? But it's like, yeah, I look at those people, and especially they do it every day. It's like Monday through Friday. I do a live stream for like 6 hours or 7 hours, and I'm just like, man, that is a different beast right there, and that's very impressive. I'm not sure I could number one, I'm not sure if anyone would want to like watch me talk about brand deals for 6 hours straight, but if I'm not like playing a video game or something, but still, like that's very impressive to me. So y'all, I am pardon me. Ashley says Justin and April are high energy on life. Yeah. Oh man, we very much are. Ashley, you know that. Like that's very much I don't know why. I feel like that's just kind of like our dispositions. We've always been we've always been the type of person both April and I have been throughout our life. And so yeah, you put those two things combined, it's like Captain Planet. You put our like wedding rings together and we emerge into this like kraken of positivity and energy. Is that a weird description? I don't know. Y'all, we have reached the end of this live stream, if you can believe it. Thank you so much for tuning in every single week. I am not going to be doing a live stream next week because I have a commitment, unfortunately. But I will see the following week. But I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hope you found this live stream helpful. And I will see you all on the flip side. Once again, thank you so much to Anity and the Parkers for the super chats. It always means so much to me. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side.